The wife's rights. 1. Maintenance and residence. The wife's maintenance entails her incontestable right to food, drink, clothing, general care, and a suitable home, even if she is wealthy. How is the amount of maintenance calculated? The husband ought to spend on his wife in accordance with his means, without extravagance or miserliness. As the Quran states, "Let the man of means spend according to his means, and the man whose resources are restricted, let him spend according to what Allah has given him. Allah puts no burden on any person beyond what He has given him." Surat At-Talaq 65:7. He must spend on her in kindness, without ever implying that he is doing her favours or humiliating her in any way whatsoever. Indeed, such maintenance is not a favour, but a duty he ought to discharge towards his wife in kindness, as the Quran clearly exhorts him. When a Muslim man fulfills his duty of supporting his wife and children, he will be rewarded abundantly by Allah. As the Prophet said, "When a man spends on his family, anticipating Allah's reward in the hereafter, this act of his will be counted as an act of charity." Sahih al-Bukhari 4776, Sahih Muslim 1401. He also said, "You will be rewarded for whatever you spend for Allah's sake, even if it were a morsel of food which you put in your wife's mouth." Sahih al-Bukhari 56, Sahih Muslim 1628. Those who refuse or neglect their duty to spend on their families, despite their ability to do so, will be committing a terrible sin for their negligence. As the Prophet said, "A man who neglects those who are under his care would surely be committing a sin." Sunan Abu Dawud 1692. 2. Living with them in kindness. This means showing good character, kindness, gentleness in word and deed, and putting up with the occasional faults and negligence. As the Quran states, "Live together with them courteously and in kindness." If you dislike them, it may well be that you dislike something in which Allah has placed a lot of good. Surat An-Nisa 4:19. The Prophet said, "The believers who have perfect faith are those with the best character, and the best of them are those who treat their women the best." Sunan At-Tirmidhi 1162. The believers who have perfect faith are those with the best character, and the best among you are those who treat their wives the best. Sunan At-Tirmidhi 2612, Musnad Ahmad 24677. The best of you are the kindest towards their wives, and I am the kindest amongst you to my wives. Sunan At-Tirmidhi 3895. One of the Prophet's companions once asked him, "Messenger of Allah, what is the right the wife of one of us has on him?" He said, "To feed her whenever you feed yourself, and to clothe her whenever you clothe yourself. Do not slap her across the face, revile her, or separate yourself from her, except in the house." Sunan Abu Dawud 2142. 3. Patience and tolerance. A man must make allowances for women's nature, which is obviously different from that of men. He must also try to look at life from all sides, considering the advantages and disadvantages of his wife, for no one is free from faults. Both spouses must exercise patience and take into account the positive aspects of each other's personality. As the Quran states, "Do not forget to show kindness to each other." Surat Al-Baqarah 2:237. The Prophet also said in this respect, "A believer must not harbour any rancour against a believing woman. If he dislikes one of her characteristics, he will certainly be pleased with another." Sahih Muslim 1469. The Prophet urges men to treat women with kindness, pointing their attention to the fact that women's emotional and psychological nature is different from that of men, that such differences between men and women are in actual fact complementary, and must in no way give rise to discord and eventual divorce. The Prophet said, "Treat women well and with kindness, for a woman was created from the rib, and thus she will not be straightened according to your way. If you want to enjoy her, you will have to enjoy her with her twist." If you try to straighten her, you will break her, and breaking her is divorcing her. Sahih al-Bukhari 3153, Sahih Muslim 1468. 3. Spending the night with the wife. The husband is recommended to spend the night with his wife, and must do so at least once every 4 days. He must also observe equal division of nights between co-wives in cases of polygamy. 5. Defending her, representing his honor. When a man marries a woman, she becomes his honor, which he must stubbornly defend, even if he gets killed in the process. As the Prophet said, "Whoever is killed defending his wife is a martyr." Sunan at-Tirmidhi, 1421, Sunan Abu Dawud, 4772. 6. Not revealing bedroom secrets. The husband must not talk to others about his wife's particularities and bedroom secrets to other people. The Prophet said, "The worst person in the eyes of Allah on the Day of Judgment is that couple who have an intimate relationship with each other, and the man then reveals their bedroom secrets to others." Sahih Muslim, 1437. 7. Not engaging in aggressive or hostile actions against her. To solve marital problems, Islam has laid down a number of rules, including the following. Problems may be solved through constructive dialogue and wisdom in order to correct mistakes. In cases of rebellion, disloyalty, and ill conduct, the husband may stop talking to her, but without exceeding 3 days. If this course of action does not seem to work, then he may temporarily abandon her in bed or abstain from the usual sexual intimacy, but without leaving the house. Aisha narrated, "Allah's Messenger never hit anything with his hand ever, except when fighting in the path of Allah, nor did he ever hit a servant or a woman." Teaching and advising her. The husband must enjoin his family members to act rightly and forbid them to act inappropriately. He ought to strive hard to help them follow the path that leads to paradise and avoid those paths that lead to hellfire. Teaching them by precept and example, he can do so by acting on obeying Allah's commands and avoiding things he has prohibited. The wife must also advise her husband, guide him to the right path, and discuss with him ways of giving the best possible upbringing to their children. As the Quran states, "O you who believe, safeguard yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones." Surat at-Tahrim 66:6. The Prophet also said in this regard, "Every one of you is a guardian and is responsible for those in his custody." Sahih al-Bukhari 2416, Sahih Muslim 1829. 9. Honoring the conditions stipulated by the wife. If the wife makes a stipulation at the time of concluding the marriage contract, such as having a particular kind of accommodation or expenses, and the husband agrees to such a condition, he must fulfill such an obligation. For a marriage contract is one of the most solemn agreements and obligations. The Prophet said, "Of all the conditions which you have to fulfill, the conditions which make it legal for you to have sexual relations, i.e. the marriage contract, have the greatest right to be fulfilled." Sahih al-Bukhari 4856, Sahih Muslim 1418.